we need to make inroads in the right direction and do the important things first and consult with people who know.
That's not saying that Bingley's behind the times. Bingley's in no different position to any other amateur theatre up and down the country that do 8, 9, 10 a year. But we've got to start to think differently, or else we won't have a theatre in 20 years, because people's priorities have changed. Keep this at the heart of it, of whatever we do now to change. If diversity remains at the heart of it, then we're going to, like an octopus, we're going to bring all those other communities in. It will just take time. And a welcoming. I think that's the thing, is that it's just that welcome.
We do not have a lot of acting members who are from BAME groups, so that is something that we very definitely need to do. I mean, like you said, I think that's a very obvious place for us to start.
Unless the play is about racism, unless it's about racism, there really is no reason to cast according to colour, and that's where we need to get to. But we need a wider pool of actors and actresses, and I think the same for actors with physical disabilities.
I saw an advert in Telegraph Marcus advertising West Side Story for Uden Town Hall, and Pat and I have always been interested in theatre, but we've always been put off because we always seem to be deemed to be middle class white, and but we saw this, so I said, Pat, let's see this. So I put our names forward, and that's where I got involved and went for the auditions along with everybody else, and with no experience in theatre at all, none whatsoever, but we just loved performing, although we're very shy and quiet, and then that's how we got involved, and then we were part of Eden for quite a few years. But
how long ago was that? I was just thinking, because you said about the TNA, the advert, whether there's different media. 96, right? Okay.
So that's how we got involved in Eden Town Hall, Eden Amateur Dramatics, and that's how we were there for quite a long time. But in terms of roles, it was always something to do. If there's anything role-wise, it was something to do with a black girl. So we've seen gospel songs and I have to sing gospel songs and big parts, chorus parts and singing.
The expectation of us to, like at one point, this low down, but at one point when we were at a certain society that they were doing a gala show, and then they put this gospel song on, and it says, sing this gospel song. Me, Margaret and another lady, she was lovely, and all of us were singing. But Margaret and myself found it hard to sing, and they said, you should be able to sing this. And obviously because we're black. Big times when I've auditioned for parts and when you audition for a part that you think, and people look at you and they want you for the part, but you can see in their eyes, I'm auditioning my heart out here, and I know you're not going to give me that part. And I know it's not being boastful, but you've performed, auditioned better than anybody. And they've gone out thinking, wow, and they can't say a word, and you think, I'm walking out of here knowing that they're going to give the part to somebody else. And that's the disappointment. And it's so easy to turn around and say, I'm not going to do the show, but I always like to do the show because I think I'm going to learn something about myself here, I'm going to learn something about them, and they're also going to learn something about me.
Blessingly, like Pat said, Kay mentioned, let's actually put Pat and I forward, and I've done parts that I'm not primarily black. Like the one you're going to do, Man with Two Goodness.
Oh, yeah.
And I did that with Little Playhouse, played the maid, is it? And that was a good opportunity. So there have been some encouragement, there have been some opportunities to play parts that are not primarily black, but those have been few.
Who I've worked with at Lincoln, but he's come to a couple of productions and really, really enjoyed them, having not really done theatre before. But it was made possible really because he's, money-wise it'd be very difficult for him to afford to come on a regular basis, but just having sort of a little bit of help towards that was, so maybe reduced price tickets for, where people really are struggling. And I think people who've just come out of hospital, people who are on benefits, it's hard getting to theatre, and
it's not a priority.
It's not a priority, and for him.
When I was here, I I was only small, and my first show that I did was Starstruck, and that encouraged me because I felt welcome at Bingley Little Theatre.
Like straight off the thing, I would say that I had looked at some of the plays downstairs on a board and instantly ruled myself out. The fact that we've spoken in there and the door seems to be open, that's a fantastic thing for me, straight off.
Actually, I mean, that is the heart of creativity. Unless we are diverse, we're not going to be creative, then we're not going to evolve. You know, and that's what we want to be able to do. So I think, the quicker we do it, the better, because that's what we're about.
Yeah.
And the richness of the theatre that will come from a more diverse group being part of it will be absolutely mind-blowing.